Hey, it's Dunstan. Just a quick message because I read an excellent post yesterday talking about technology from my friend Tris, and just talking about how can we get technology to work for us rather than us being a slave to the technology and it taking over our lives and creating stress, adrenal response in the body, and it's a question of how do we get technology to enhance our life experience rather than diminish our experience of life. So I wanted to just start by saying this is not a new problem, okay? Now, every year, there are more and more things that we can do on our devices. But about 100 years ago, there was a dude called Rudolf Steiner, and he was on this, and he talked about two forces which he called Lucifer and Ahriman, and the effect they have on us. And in particular, Ahriman is this dude who makes everything go faster and faster and faster and cuts things up into smaller pieces. And it's very much in the mind about thinking. And it's really how technology works, is that it's faster and faster and faster. There's more and more and more information, and it can really disconnect us from our bodies, because life is lived in the body down here, right? And technology, the infinite possibilities are up here in the mind at the speed of light and beyond. And so back then, technology, okay, Steiner didn't have smartphones, but he never had an iPad, but what he was on it, and he was really relevant. And what he said was that it's really important to use your willpower in your being to harness technology. Okay, now, what is this brilliant story about Rudolf Steiner when motor cars are quite new then, okay? So like how we are a bit now, we've seen smartphones come into dominate our lives in many cases in the last 10 years. Imagine when that was the motor car. So there's this story about how when Steiner got in the car, he didn't just start the car and drive off, okay? Rudolf Steiner, fascinating guy, well worth looking into. He would sit in the car and he would summon his own higher self into his body, and he would then invite Ahriman to do his bidding. So he's basically saying, Ahriman, come in, do my bidding, and let's go forth. And then he would start the car and drive off. So he was in the driving seat, right? He wasn't just jumping in the car and driving off and seeing where it would take him, because that's in his world, that would be Ahriman in charge. So he was in charge. So another way to think about this is, it's like, is the tail wagging the dog? And how can you make sure that the dog is wagging the tail? Because back then it was motor cars, and now it's a fucking massive dog with a freaking enormous, powerful tail. So do you ever feel like you're being wagged by the tail? Like you went on Facebook to update something or post something or do something creative, and an hour later you wonder what happened? I think that's what happens, to me, for sure. And I'm going to share a few things that I use to help me with that. Now, some people go the route of setting boundaries and get to a certain amount of time, and that might work. For me, it doesn't work really well. But what does work is really getting honest with myself and asking a few key questions of myself and having my awareness. You see, with technology, it's all about intention. So what is your intention? Why in social media? Why are you online? And you can answer that question on there's many questions, like what, why, How are you using technology? How long are you spending on technology? How do you feel afterwards? Do you feel energized and ready to get on with your life after you've seen something inspiring, or you've shared something inspiring, or like me recording this video? You know, right now the sun is coming out pretty strong here. It's a beautiful day. And so what's happening for me right now is I'm starting to feel the pull of getting outside and going, enjoying the sun, going for a swim, maybe doing some sun gazing. And that's starting to kind of pull me in that direction. And see, we get a bit stuck. I get stuck. You might get stuck when there's conflicting things going on, right? Now, if I'm here, I want to be 100% absolutely here sharing this with you. If I'm on Facebook, I want to be 100% there with it, commenting, sharing. But then at a certain point, it's knowing when there's like a feeling in the body of going, okay, this is kind of like, there's a moment. It's like when you're eating food and you're full. If you carry on eating, it actually doesn't feel good. And if you're in tune with your body, you can feel that point, right? So being in the body is a great starting point. Always remember, life is lived in the body. So see if you can tune into that point where it becomes like, even now doing this video, it's like, if I'm going off the point, if I'm starting to waffle, I can feel it. And it's a little reminder for my body going, Dunstan, be on point. Tell these people something interesting, something useful, be of value, be of service, be of value, be of service to yourself, be of value and service to other people. So it's that little point where the energy starts to drop off and you kind of find yourself getting sucked into whatever, like 100 conspiracy theories or things that are kind of terrible things that are going on in the world that, you know, I don't want to go there. I want to talk about how you make technology work for you, right? So remember, right now we've got this massive dog and the tail's wagging. So you got to have your feet so firmly in the ground and know who you are and what you want. See, if you don't have your own intention, then you're going to get sucked into someone else's intention. And their intention probably isn't going to be in your best interests, right? So some people have the intention to share loads of information about all the things going on in the world, and that might be useful up to a point, but you don't want to get lost in that. See, for me, my intention is to live the best life I can, to have a great time, to enjoy myself, to be out in nature and soak up that energy, that inspiration, and to share a little bit of that with other people. And I want to have the best year of my life again next year. And I'm writing a little program for other people that want to join me in that, right? So that's my purpose. And being on Facebook can serve that, right? So who's the boss? Who's in charge? Are you in charge? The way to tell if you're not in charge is if you get sucked into someone else's agenda. Now, the agenda on Facebook, the people who've created Facebook, sure, it might be they did that out of the goodness of their heart because they want to connect you with your friends more effectively, and maybe there's a part of that, and also they want to make money, so they want to monetize. Of course, it's a business. So how do they monetize? By getting your attention. And then there's advertising on Facebook. So you can then, you know, people can pay to get your attention. So your attention has value. Are you valuing your attention? Because it's up for sale. It's up for grabs. Okay. You know, people advertising on Facebook are paying Facebook to get your attention. And if you're advertising and marketing on Facebook, people doing that, and I've had a little go at it, can niche. So they can say, right, I want people who are between the ages of this and this, who have sun gazing as an interest, who whatever. They targeting because they want to sell products, courses, something to you. It might be good for you, but remember, if you don't have your intention, then you're going to get sucked up into someone else's intention, right? So if McDonald's intention is to make loads of money and selling people cheap food, and you're walking down the street and you're not switched on, and you're not in tune with your body, and you don't know what tastes good and what nourishes and nurtures your body, you're very easy. You're easy prey. You're going to end up in McDonald's eating a McDonald's burger and going, great, this is good. But your body inside, you're not connected to it, but your body inside is going, fuck, this is disgusting. What do I do with this, right? So come back to this intention. And always with technology, what is your ultimate connection? Why do you go on Facebook? Why are you going on there? Mostly, I think it's for human connection. See, this is what happens. We go on we do something because we want human connection, but then we kind of forget that, and we end up doing other stuff. And at the end, do we feel connected? Do you feel connected with other human beings when you've had a session online? If yes, great. If no, maybe you need to do something differently. Okay, so in the first place, and if your intention is human connection, that's important to you in your life. Is being online the best way to do it? Because chances are at some point you're going to need to get offline and connect with real people. So it's like, do you ever get this situation where there's people out there in the real world waiting for you to do something with, but you're on Facebook? You kind of really don't want to deal with all that because it's easier just to be online. So that's something that happens. Now, is this the best way to get human connection? Yes or no? Up to a point, yes. At some point, you've got to get off your, we know all this, right? My interest is just how does this work for you? Are you selfish? Why do you have a phone? Why do you have a smartphone? Do you have a smartphone so people can reach you? Do you have WhatsApp so that it's easier for other people to reach you? In life where it's essential to be selfish. Now, if you love being contactable 24/7, then great, fantastic. Be contactable 24/7. Keep your phone on at night if that really works for you. But you have a phone because it works for you. That's the whole point of having a phone. And people go, oh, that's selfish. Well, if I'm not selfish and my energy is being depleted because it's being drained by having my technology active the whole time, what use am I to anyone? How can I give my best gifts to the world if I'm online 24/7? So a really key thing for me in my life is to have everything turned off at night, to have my phone on airplane mode when I don't want to be contacted, have the Wi-Fi turned off. And you know what? If someone needs to contact me from the other side of the world, there is nothing that is more important than my sleep right now. And I'll get to it in the morning. If I need to get on a plane and go somewhere, it's not going to happen in the middle of the night. So turn it off. It's a bit like if you're an astronaut and you're flying around in zero gravity, you wake up and, how do you wake up? Let yourself be, let yourself go in that space. Let yourself be asleep. Let that sleep process happen. Let your adrenal system wind down. Okay, and we're not talking about the damage that Wi-Fi might or might not be doing to our bodies. We're talking about your mental activity being higher because your brain is sensitive. We have electrosmog, we have electropollution, and that is stimulating the brain. And sure, we can adapt, we can evolve, we can grow to meet that, but it's like, it's not great for sleep. It's not great for deep rest. So let your body rest. And I'll talk more about the astronaut thing another time because I'm feeling to wrap this up, get out in the sun, go get on with life. But, turn your Wi-Fi off at night. Be clear on your intention. Be ruthlessly selfish. Know why you're doing it. Be online if you want to be. Be online if you want to be online. Hey, I don't need to summarize this. You guys are all smart. You can figure this out. One way to tell you're addicted to technology is if you lose your phone and you get a state of panic, whoa, notice, okay? Find low-tech ways of doing things. Remember, there is this thing called a diary. There's this thing called paper that works really well. If you use your phone for everything, your phone's going to start using you. And you want to be the boss, remember? You want to be, don't you want to be getting wagged by that big tail, that big dog? So I'm going to wrap up. Let me know how you go with your Facebook addiction, with your phone addiction. Look, this is like a big call to step up in our consciousness. We have so much more technology. Steiner was getting in his car saying, technology, do my bidding, before he drove off. Now, this is 1,000 times bigger. We need to be 10,000 times more embodied, more present, more here, so we can use technology, so we can make technology work for us, so we can get on with doing the shit we want to do in life, so we can get on with inspiring other people, living our lives on purpose, living in abundance, clearing wounding, trauma from our systems, and getting on with being fucking awesome beings that we're here on the earth to be. So I'm going offline. I'm going to the beach, and I'll catch you all later. Ciao.